I love my Big Shuriken 3 CPU cooler. It's affordable, looks good, cools great, and it's quiet. What's there not to love, right? Exactly. But can this compact cooler handle an actual hot CPU? That was my question a couple of days ago when I stumbled upon an offer on Aliexpress. Intel Xeon E5-2666v3 for just $23. Not a bad deal, but here's the catch. 2666v3 is a toasty boy with TDP of 135 watts. Comparing it to my current 2640v3 with 95 watts of TDP, that's a much cooler CPU, right? It's much lower TDP. But you know, I just couldn't pass on 2 additional cores and a higher base clock, okay? To make things worse, I still fully intend to use my current case, SGPC K59, and as you may remember, this case has no support for additional fans, so only CPU fans, only GPU fans, nothing else. So how this CPU swap actually went? Pretty good. Good enough that I fully intend to keep new CPU in the system and store the old one for later, maybe some different build. Of course, everything runs hotter, but it's still quiet in my daily tasks like software development or gaming, and only synthetic benchmarks actually make me hear the difference between old and new CPU. And to show you some actual results and actual temps, I have booted up my tool, the tool I'm using for controlling CPU and GPU fan speeds. It's called Fan Control. Great tool, definitely my recommendation. CPU sits in idle for, couple of minutes, 10-15. So it's stabilized, and so it's stabilized at around 56, 57 sometimes, but yeah, 56 degrees. You can see my fan curve. So my intention is to be as quiet as possible for as long as it's possible. So I have 4 points here, and the first point ends at 66 degrees and 40% fan speed, and it's actually totally enough, completely enough for daily tasks like web browsing, watching movies, and even light gaming. Then next step is 75 degrees with 30% fan speed. So up until this point, maybe some video editing, some more CPU intensive tasks. Then you have 80 degrees with 60% fan speed, and this is the point I almost never reach. I reached it once with launching Android emulator to do some Flutter development. So yeah, it actually made the fan go up to 60%. But it happened once when the emulator was created. So yeah, it doesn't occur that often. And then there's the panic mode. So if we go to 83 degrees, if we run this hot on package, as you can see, then panic mode, 100% fan speed, just throw everything you had and cool the CPU. And as you can see, I am monitoring the CPU package as my sensor. Okay, so yeah, this is how I tuned my fan curve. And okay, so let's start Prime 95. Torture test and small FFT, so it has maximum power heat CPU stress, right? So it should be like the worst case scenario for this CPU. Let's start it. Okay, and you can immediately see that the temperature rose to 75 degrees. We reached 80% of fan speed. Still, CPU cannot be heard, so it's very, very quiet. 48. Still nothing, right? The fan on Big Shuriken is very, very, very quiet. Okay, and now we're at 56 degrees. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can hear the hum, but it's nothing. It's no big deal. and yeah, you reach 80-81%, so you can see that it's actually jumping back and forth between 56 and 73%. It sometimes reaches the actual 82 degrees, and by then it has 86% of fan speed. Let me just check this quickly. Yeah, so 82, it's 87.4. So yeah, at this point the fan is actually loud, but no, it doesn't happen in regular daily tasks. So I think it's a good fan curve, and actually a testimony that Big Shuriken 3 is a great CPU cooler, and yeah, definitely a recommendation, even if you have 135 TDP, 135 watt TDP CPU cooler. So as a final word, Big Shuriken 3, definitely my recommendation. Great CPU cooler, handles 135 watts like a pro. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.